What is going on, guys? First and foremost, definitely watch this whole video. We have some advanced scaling tactics for your e-commerce business as to how you can actually build consistency and scale thereafter while using a systematic approach and building a real foundation and a real asset and not just a 2-week pump and dump, guys. So leave a like in the video and actually leave a comment down below if you enjoyed and watch the entire thing. You'll be very, very happy you did. Now, as you guys know, the farm system is our system that we utilize to be very, very consistent, build a foundation, and obviously scale forward predictably. Now, there's a lot of different kind of hidden, factors and tricks inside of the farm system that we always, tend to utilize, and a lot of questions that arise from it as well. So what I wanted to go through and do today is go through the farm system once more for us and just make sure we're all on the same page with scaling all the way from Algorithmic all the way to CBO. Okay, we're starting off with Algorithmic. I'm going to work you guys all the way down to CBO scaling. Now, I want you guys to definitely take a look at what we have here. This is our obvious, our diagram of what the actual farm system entails. First and foremost, obviously you need to start off with foundation. Okay, when you're first launching your store, you need foundation. You need an actual consistent workflow to work toward. Now, the farm system is so consistent, not just because the systems that are all in, conjunction with each other work very well together, but every little piece of this system could be used on its own as well. Now, part of the reason we have guys scaling to 30, 40, 50K days, is because of this system. Now, and it enables you to obviously have foundation and have consistency early on without worrying about having to go ahead and have big budgets on one particular audience or ad set. Okay, so it's super, super important that you guys understand the difference between having one specific audience, with large budgets and also building an infrastructure. As we've talked about countless times, an infrastructure is going to allow you to actually remain consistent and scale properly without going ahead and relying on one particular audience to go ahead and do all the legwork for you. You guys want to understand that when you have a system, a foundational system, it's much, much different than having one particular audience with large budget. Okay, one large audience with a large budget will primarily put you at risk to going ahead and waking up with all of your ad spend in the shitter. Okay, so you have to understand the difference between having a proper infrastructure to having just a lucky audience that's doing well for a few days. So we're going for long-term consistency here with our brands, which means that we want to go ahead and build infrastructure before we go ahead and scale to the moon. Okay, so instead of going ahead and scaling to $500 a day immediately on one of our ad set level budgets, we prefer to go ahead and start off with algorithmic targeting. First and foremost, guys, we have our algorithmic targeting setup. Okay, obviously our 12 ad sets with $5 budgets containing all different type of categorizations according to our actual algorithmic sheet. It's super, super important that you guys understand the difference between targeting properly and then using algorithmic targeting. Okay, targeting, most people say, oh, just use all single interest. That's fine. Okay, single interest does well, which is why we use it in algorithmic, but you also have to realize when you're using algorithmic, you're not only using single interest, you're stacking and you're also narrowing. Algorithmic gives us a very, very, very unique approach, enabling us to obviously see what works best for our particular product and our particular actual niche. Many, many markets and many, many niches will get different results based on how you target. For example, if you're actually moving out of your way to go ahead and start off with, let's say algorithmic, you have 4 single interests, you have 4 narrowed, and then 4 stacked, right? With no narrow, 2 to 8 keywords. Keep in mind that you'll start to see a trend in the consistency of the results coming from each of these style of narrowing or non-narrowing or single interests. Your goal as a business owner and as an advertiser is to really understand which particular styles are doing best for your niche and your market. And it will be different for almost every product. Now, yes, Amer says, isn't single interest part of algorithmic and total? Yes, exactly, which is why we said it has 4 single interest, 4 actual narrows, and then 4 2 to 8. Absolutely. So like we mentioned, it is still part of it. But what you have to understand here is that you need to see what particular style is doing best for your specific product and niche. You could be in the baby market and start noticing that your single interest keywords are doing much better than your narrowed keywords. You could be in the camping market and notice that your narrowing is actually doing much better than your single interest. Keep that in mind. So it's important to go ahead and see which one does better and how consistent it becomes. So we have our 4 different styles. We have 4 2 to 8 keywords with no narrow, 4 2 to 8 keywords with a narrow, then 4 single interest keywords, which is phenomenal. Okay. And keep in mind, we always want to be in that 800K to 5 million mark, like we've mentioned. Facebook likes larger audiences, okay? But that does not mean start using huge audiences from the get-go when you have no data. 800K to 5 million is pretty damn big. Start off with this threshold, immediately. And as you go ahead and build more and more and more data, I recommend you obviously focus on 5 million, but then you could have the freedom to do, larger down the road as well when you're actually launching lookalike audiences. All of your narrows here should be narrows based on large, broad, passionate keywords. It's important that you guys understand that, okay? You don't want to narrow with a very minimal, small keyword. You should be narrowing with large keywords. So after you go ahead and launch your algorithmic targeting campaign, you have 12 audiences launched on $5 a day. What you're realizing here is that you need to be following the 3-day rule for the specific audiences launched. 3-day rule is day 1, no view content, kill it. Day 2, no add to cart, kill it. And day 3, no purchase, kill it. Okay? It's extremely, extremely telling as if the product is going to work or not. And it'll also help you when you launch $5 audiences down the road as well that are outside the big bang campaigns that need to be killed according to these specific KPI metrics. Okay? So that's a 3-day rule in which we utilize to go ahead and follow along with algorithmic targeting. So algorithmic targeting, 12 ad sets, 5 budgets. We monitor them during the first 3 days using an actual system known as the 3-day rule. Day 1, no view content, kill it. Day 2, no add to cart, kill it. And day 3, no purchase, kill it. Now, the goal, okay, of this particular launch is to get to 25 sales, okay? Getting to 25 sales allows us to build data and to really see if we can actually maintain the product at a decently profitable or break-even point. Keep in mind, when you hit 25 sales, you'll also be launching your retargeting campaign. Things like your custom audiences of add to cart, view content, purchase, initiate checkout, video viewers, all of those pieces, okay, all of those custom audiences will then be put into a separate campaign on $1.50 to $5, like we've talked about, for retargeting. This only happens at your 25th sale. There's no sense in retargeting if you can't even manage to get to 25 sales, because you'll just kind of be blowing budget on an audience that doesn't want to buy your product anyway. Let's say you get a sale. Okay, let's say it's day 1. Okay, you actually get a sale. Wow, that's phenomenal. So you launch your algorithmic targeting keywords. You have 12 audiences, and you got a sale. That's awesome. So you have maybe 4 or 5 that got a sale, and maybe the rest of them didn't get a sale. Okay, on day 1, you only have a few sales, but let's say you have, just for example purposes, you have half the audience that got sales, the other half that didn't. You're killing those specific actual audiences based on the 3-day rule. You're scaling and duplicating the audiences that did get a sale and do have profitable ROAS within that 3-day period, okay, by using the 5x duplication rule. So 3-day rule is what we use to kill. 5x duplication rule is what we use to actually go ahead and scale. With that being said, okay, once we actually duplicate, the reason we're duplicating is to increase the number of pockets that we're running to that particular winning audience. So keep in mind, let's say we have audience A, and audience A gets a sale. So we'll go ahead and duplicate audience A 5 times again in the same campaign. Everything's the same. We're just going ahead, okay, and making sure that we're duplicating these audiences over again. When you duplicate the same audiences over again, okay, you're not going to be hitting the same people. Remember, when we're at nearly 5 million potential reach on these audiences and only $5 a day budget, we're going to have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend before we even start to get to people seeing the ad more than once. So it's important you understand, when you're duplicating, you're not bidding against yourself. You're really not, because it's a different auction. You're really hitting different people. What you're doing here is trying to locate more winning pockets, okay? Keep in mind, in every single winning pocket, right, every single winning audience that starts to make sales and become profitable, there's multiple, if not several hundreds more winning pockets within that specific audience, which is why it's so important to make sure that we're duplicating over again to hit as many winning pockets in those particular audiences as possible every single time that we gather sales. The goal here, up until right before Micro Big Bang, is going to be 100 sales. Okay, 100 sales using a combination of what we just talked about here. The power of micro budgeting is very similar in comparison to the statement I mentioned right here. Facebook is going to be pushing buyers to fresh, low budget ad sets. This way we build up our data at a lower price with lower cost per acquisition, which allows us to continually and repetitively, sometimes for months on end before refreshed and custom audiences, get literally like 60-cent sales day to day because of micro budgeting, which is so incredible. Okay, so as we move to this point, okay, you're going to be creating 180-day duration custom audiences, whether it be purchase, initiate checkout, add to cart, view content, video viewer, okay, engage with page, okay, engage with ad. all of these specific custom audiences that you have the ability to create, you're going to be utilizing. When you have these custom audiences built, remember, you have to have custom audiences built to create lookalikes. Custom audience is much different than lookalikes. Custom audience is only the people who actually were in the cart, who actually did view content. Lookalike is an algorithmically similar creation that Facebook put together for us of similar individuals to those people in the custom audience. Okay, which is super, super important. Okay, so as we go ahead and move down here, okay, we have our USA, Canada, UK, and Australia. Okay, it's super, super important that you guys understand that when you're doing this, it should be for the core four. But a lot of the time, it won't be, because a lot of the time, you'll only be able to do it for US at the start, which is totally fine. If you don't have enough data points in the rest of the 3 countries, you could absolutely start this with just using US, and it'll do just as well. So with that being said, okay, what you want to do from this point on, if you have the opportunity to do all core 4, if you have the opportunity to just do US, that's totally cool. Okay, but here is where the magic happens. Here's where the magic happens. And we're not launching all of these, okay? Not launching all of these. So to your point, Fabian, aren't we gonna be launching a ton of audiences? Yes, but we're gonna go ahead and limit the amount we launch to give us a lot more room on the back end to scale after we launch this. So we don't need to launch all the way 1 to 10%. We only need to launch 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. Okay. And then you could also do 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7, 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. If you want to be overly aggressive, if you're getting crazy results, for example, like Kim, I encourage Kim to go ahead and launch anything he could do, because the man is just getting 40% margins no matter what he does. He's just scaling at just 40% margin. He's doing great with crazy ROAS. So for guys like Kim, where you have outrageous profitability every single day, you're making thousands and thousands of dollars a day in profit, you want to go ahead and be extra aggressive and use the tail end of 5 to 10. But the first launch, it's most advised to go ahead and go 1 to 5. Okay, so when you actually launch this, you want to be sure to trim the fat. So let's go ahead and take a look at our rules. Okay, now ignore this box here, guys. You guys don't have to worry about this right now. Okay, so with our rules, you want to understand that since we're running at such low budget audiences consistently day to day, it's massively, massively important that you understand that you have to be trimming the fat or the audiences that don't do well up until that 8th day. So we will be running the audience for around 8 days, okay? Before we go ahead and start to make some major adjustments. 5 to 8 days is where I'll go ahead and cook it. All the way up to that 5th day, I won't really make too many trims unless it's a complete outlier audience doing terrible. But on day 5 to 8, I'm really making some aggressive trims. And really anything that's below break even on that particular day, I'll go ahead and start killing. Now, with that being said, you want to keep slow cooking your manual bidding, your micro big bang campaign, just because this is going to be an infrastructure build campaign, which allows you to understand that you don't only have to rely on one particular ad set to scale you. You should be relying on multiples. It's just like investing into the stock market. Are you going to put $1 million into Upwork stock, or are you going to spread it out between mutual funds and all different stocks, right? You want to be very, 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 very not laid out in terms of where your money is. You don't want to have all your money in one asset, because anything can happen and your business could flip over overnight. And that's what we love to prevent here at BSF. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of running this. If you start to notice a drastic decrease over like a 3-day period that's consistently dropping, you want to go ahead and do the following. Like I mentioned countless times, our student Elson creates multiple recreations of customs every single month. Okay, he was doing good, but he started launching systems like this. Now he went up to do 300K monthly, and he's always relaunching campaigns and relaunching customs when the ROAS dips, and it always refreshes the results for him, which is phenomenal. And what that means is you recreate exactly what you have here. Okay, you recreate your actual purchase, initiate checkout, ad tech. All of your custom audiences should be recreated and go into that not available again process where Facebook is just populating it. Okay, once it's populated, you can do the same damn thing over again and launch it for 12 a.m. at midnight, like we mentioned several times. Okay, that's how you really refresh your results here with Micro Big Bang, which is so important. And that's how you could continually get infrastructure scale as you go ahead and use your CBOs and Big Bang to scale you even higher. Okay, super important. That's why we launch it first, because it's on a lower budget. We can test the waters, see how it does, and if it does well, Okay, and if it does well and we're profitable, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Big Bang. Okay, now Big Bang. What do you guys notice about the Big Bang? Anything similar to Micro Big Bang, guys? Anything similar compared to Micro Big Bang and the Big Bang? Yes, yes. So it's the same damn thing. The only thing different is the $5 budget. Now, here's where the magic happens. Now, for guys like Kim, okay, we launched Micro Big Bang. Then I went ahead and had to launch another actual Big Bang after we did good with Micro. And guess what happened? The ROAS stayed the same. The ROAS on the particular audiences was a bit lower because it's higher budget. But guess what? The margin stayed the same as the revenue went higher. Kim's now doing $6,000 a day with 40% margins. It's the same damn thing. Nothing's different here, guys. It's all the same, okay? Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? We keep it simple here, okay? The reason I like to keep it simple is because I get confused when I start having all these crazy numbers going around. How about we stay structured, stay systemized, and make sure that we're actually in line with the system and just follow what we have here. No reason to invent the wheel, okay? Only thing we got to do is make sure that you guys are enabling yourself to understand that every single time that you launch a Big Bang, it's the same thing as Micro Big Bang. Okay, same thing, except the money that you spend, which makes it different. Okay, so here we have build relevant customs, like we talked about, 180 days. Build lookalikes, like we talked about. Start with 1 to 5, like we talked about. And then $5 budget, same post ID, 7-day click one campaign. That's the magic here. And the reason that you see our students consistently profiting, consistently making money, guys like Jean doing $500,000 a month and sticking it and not making it a 1-month flop. Okay. Guys like Jose doing $500,000 a month and doing it every month and not just doing 1 month. Okay. And posting a screenshot and then that's it. No, we do it every damn month because we have foundational builds. Because we have foundational builds. And that's one of the most important things that this industry doesn't understand is that if you treat it like a pump and dump, it'll treat you like a pump and dump. Okay? If you're just putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars on one particular ad set, guess what? You're going to wake up one day, the algorithm's going to go to shit, your pixel's going to screw up, you'll be in the mud. Not if you go ahead and do this and actually build an infrastructure before you scale massively, then you can maintain it and actually scale consistently and predictably, just like we're doing with tons of our massively successful clients. So when you're at this portion and you have your Big Bang running, you have your Micro Big Bang running, you got your retargeting running, and you got your algorithmic running, you, my friend, have a freaking foundation built, and you're not just a 2-week pump and dump. Congratulations. From this point on, what you want to go ahead and understand is the following. When you launch a CBO, there's not like any specific way you go ahead and okay, you just look at your MBB and your BB. Which one made me more damn money? Which one's ROAS is better? Okay, which one's making me more money? Okay, typically, if you're seeing that your Micro Big Bang audiences, okay, have a higher purchase to ROAS ratio than your Big Bang or vice versa, that's the campaign you'll be choosing from to feed the actual CBO. But keep in mind, it doesn't really matter which one you do first because you're going to be doing a CBO for each of these anyway. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose first. It doesn't matter. So what you do here, okay, is you create your CBO. You're going to identify your 5 to 8 most profitable audiences, either from BB or MBB. Move them into a new campaign, CBO, $150 budget, 1-day click. What you'll be doing here, using your actual CBO as your vertical scale vehicle, What happens here, ladies and gents, is when you actually pull from MBB and BB, you have so many proven audiences that you, my friend, not only have the ability to scale huge with a CBO from MBB, but another CBO with BB. This is how we're going to take Kim to $20,000. We could have Kim at 20 grand a day right now, but we're choosing not to because we have to make sure our units are in-house to make sure our feedback score is flawless when we get to that point. So just understand, almost always when you have a product that's a winner like that, you will be able to go ahead and take it to whatever damn number you want. Do not over leverage yourself. Do not overscale. These systems will take you to 20 grand a day, like countless of our students are doing. You do not want to go there off the bat. You must make sure your supply chain is locked in beforehand. If you need help with that, we're going to make sure that's dialed in before you even touch a CBO. Around 3 to 5 days, we kill the assets below break even, okay? if I'm break even on my CBO, I'm happy, because as the CBO continues to cook for more and more and more, it'll become more optimized and the ROAS will continually increase. Okay, continually increase. When you're actually launching the CBO, it'll be a $150 a day budget. Day 1 and day 2, if you're break even, good sign. Okay, even better sign if you're profitable. If you're like 50% negative day 1 and day 2, just kill it and then try it again later and just focus on your MBB and your BB. Okay, so what happens here is, if you notice, oh, wow, after day 1 or 2, I'm profitable on my CBO. Holy crap. Let's increase the budget by 20% when profitable. Editing it at midnight. Okay. When ROAS decreases, add 3 other top performing audiences from MBB or BB into the CBO. So let's say after like 3 to 5 days, it was doing good, but it's starting to decrease in ROAS now. I see the audiences that are not working in the CBO. We'll turn those off. And for everyone we turn off, we pull from our farm, which is Big Bang or Micro Big Bang. We pull from our farm because you're going to have hundreds of audiences that are profitable at all times now. Okay, so that's the key. Understanding the luxury of having a campaign set up like this. Please understand the luxury. No one really does it like this. And that's why everyone has a store that's only a month old and then has to shut it down. If you set it up like this, you're not going to be scaling too fast. You'll have profitability daily, and you'll be able to always have fuel for your vertical scale campaigns, which is your CBOs. Okay? Setting it up like this prepares you for long-term success. And that's why I teach it to you guys. Ladies and gents, welcome to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this incredible walkthrough and scaling video that we actually pushed forth today of our advanced scaling tactics that we use for our own brands and our students' brands here at BSF, and how we have some of the most consistent results in the industry as well because of the systems like this. So definitely leave a like in the video, comment down below if you enjoyed it, and let us know what else you guys want to see from us as well down below. Whatever you guys let us know, we're going to go ahead and make sure it happens as well. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next actual video.